Welcome to the part 4 of the series about how to use a Tomahawk in combat. So a request came up that I should show some solo drills which you can do when you don't have a partner. So I wanted to say, first of all, the drills I was showing in the last video, they were just kind of a quick overview. So maybe I will do more like, separate videos on different topics, or like little lessons you can do on your own, but also with a partner. But for a start, as it was requested, I want to show some solo drills which I am doing. So first of all, you can bring together on your own all the stuff we discussed in the last 3 videos. But to give you kind of a little help, this is what I do. So the first drill I am doing is I stand in my ready position, right foot forward when I'm right-handed, with my tomahawk in my right hand, left hand, check hand, off hand, ready here, close to my chin. And then from here, I train first the snap cut attack to the hand of my opponent. And I try to not go for big lunges, but to do more like quick steps forward. You can rest your thumb on the back of the shaft of the axe, or you can hold it in this kind of hammer or handshake grip. Okay, you can play around with both grips if you want to. So of course I'm moving like I would in a fight, so I'm not keeping this static and just stepping forward, but I'm moving, and then I do snap cut. And you can do this from above, like a snap cut number 7, and you can of course do cut 1, cut 2, cut 4, horizontal, and you can also start stepping out with the traverse. You can put your left foot forward and change sides, and then go back to your right foot forward, and this is what I train. I would start slowly with the training axe, but then of course, as I said in my last video, I would recommend to use the real tomahawk, because with the training tomahawk, this is kind of easy. But so you don't injure your elbow or something like that, maybe start first to get used to the correct snap cutting movement of your hand with a lighter training version. And you can go and do this for a while. So next step is, you just imagine that your opponent is trying to do the same, and you train the shift of your hand and of your feet. So you move, when your hand comes forward, you imagine he tries to cut your hand, and you pull back and shift back. Move around like in a fight, and then shift back. Okay. Next step is you can start to combine those. So you do either a snap cut on your own and then shift back. Or you can imagine you get attacked, so you shift back and come forward with a snap cut. Shift back and counter with a snap cut. Shift back, counter with a snap cut. Or at the same time. So you shift back, pull your hand a little bit back, shift back with your front leg, and then you do a time counter. Okay, so next step or next drill, which you can do is drilling all cuts. So maybe you stand in front of a mirror, or you have a pell, or another target, or you have kind of this Maya cross or something like that. And you start working from your long grip, you start working through all the cuts. So cut number 1, cut number 2, cut number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you can do the cuts in different ways. You can do them like drawing or pull cuts, cutting here, cutting here. You can put footwork in it, of course, always. You can cut here, you can cut here, you can cut here. So pulling it, like slicing through. And this is already kind of training the hooking motions. So the defensive or offensive hooking motions with the tomahawk. If you imagine something is coming at you, you hook this away, hook this away. So you can do this, like small drawing cuts already with this kind of hooking motion. And then you can train the same pattern of the 7 cuts like a chop. So chopping, retracting, chopping. So a little bit bigger motion. Okay? So chop, 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 and back. So imagine like you would strike a nail with a hammer. Okay? If you have a hammer, you put in a nail, you hit it, and you pull back and hit it again. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, with different footwork. The same you can do with half choke. Okay, so we can do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and also with the cutting motion, pulling. And of course, all drills we are doing, you can also do with your left hand, and you can also do it left foot forward, right foot forward. You can switch in between, you can traverse. You could even do a kind of a drill like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you could even change the hand in between. Play around a little bit with that and try to come up with your own combinations. So we have snap cut, we have shifting and countering, and we have the pattern of the 7 cuts. The drill you can do, solo drill, is going into the full choke, and then from here you're just doing like boxing. And this is very important when you then use a real axe with a steel head, because then this really is nice. So you try to imagine with your free hand, you use it to check and punch, check and punch, check and punch, check and punch. Okay? You can do it left foot forward, you can do it right foot forward. So check, punch, check, punch, check, punch. Okay? So like this. You can also train like going in, punch, punch, another punch, so you can do multiple punches. So you could even stand around like if you're doing boxing and going for this and just training here like a cross with that to get used to the punching motion. Okay? It's not really a fighting application that you stand in front of someone and start boxing with your axe in your hand. No, it's just a training drill to get used to the weight. And therefore you can also do kind of these small cuts with the full choke. Okay? Like you punch forward, you cut from different angles, and just imagine being in a situation where you can use that. The next drill you can do is thrusting. So 2 ways to thrust. As I said, you can just punch forward, trying to get something with the point or the pointy part, the front of your tomahawk. Okay, so you're standing again in your ready position, you're moving, you can rest your thumb on the back when you thrust, and then you thrust forward. Thrusting forward and pulling back. Don't remain here on a long lunge. That's an invitation to smash your hand. So you go forward with a quick thrust. Forward with a quick thrust. Forward, forward. You can also train it as a counter. Back with a shift. Back. Okay. Then of course the horizontal thrust with the broadside of your axe head. It's just the same. Thrusting forward, thrusting forward, thrusting forward with a shift. With shifting motion backwards and a counter and forward. And then you can go for the defensive action of against the thrust, which I showed in the last video. So you do kind of with the broadside of your axe head a shift and a thrust to the weapon hand of the attacker. Bam. 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 Okay. Next thing you can train on your own is the kind of slapping motion. Okay, to do kind of with the back of the tomahawk, like with the hammerhead or the back of the axe head. And you can do it also with the side. So with the side, I would say you go like a windshield whipper. You just start to train, of course again, better with the steel axe. You start to train from your ready position, just this motion, first of all. Okay, not too big, not like this, not with a full arm and shoulder, not too small, but with the wrist, the elbow, and a little bit of shoulder. Okay, and do it like a slapping motion, so the hand remains more in the center of your body. This you can do first. And then you can put in footwork. And even the first counter, okay? But first start just with footwork. So, bop, 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 like so. To the other side, to this side, to left and right. And then you can start to imagine, okay, I came this way, here comes the attack, slapping away, traverse, cut. Okay, same on the other side, cut number 2, okay, cut number 2, slapping, counter, cut number 2, slapping, counter, cut number 2, slapping, counter. Okay, you see you can put in different footwork, like coming forward, cut 2, slapping, back traverse, and then depending on the situation, maybe shifting back and counter. An example. Okay, play around with the footwork. Always play around with the footwork, because you can do many of the attacks and many of the defensive actions you can do when you are going forward, if you are attacking, or if you are retreating and defending yourself. Also, you can train the quick slap to the hand. So imagine the hand of your opponent with whatever weapon he is holding is a vulnerable target, and you go for slapping from the side, slapping from the side, slapping from above, slapping in different angles, like 3 or 4 or 2 or 1, or from above, slapping from here, horizontal, so a quick slap to all the parts of the hand which can be damaged. Speaking of this, then you can also go for specifically using the back of your tomahawk. So, like an example, the first quick attack, like cut number 8, from below to the hand. Okay, really vertical or a little bit diagonal, like a cut 3 or a cut 4 to the back, or even from angles 1 and 2. Not 7, that's a little bit too awkward, but you come quickly from above. And this is very good if you, in example, attack his hand with a snap cut. He is going back, comes forward with a counter, and you go up and get his hand. So snap cutting forward, he shifts, you pull back, he comes with his counter attack, and then you give him a snapping blow with the back of the tomahawk. So these are some drills you can do. You can also come up with your own, and as I said, if you have a target like a pell or a tree or something, you have a dummy. Depending on what training tool you are using, you can do kind of different attacks and defense motions. But these would be the ones I would start with, because these are the most typical deflecting, attacking, parrying motions you can train. Yeah, I think for now this is enough. Again, you can put your comments below in the comment section. Maybe you have another request, maybe you have another idea which I should try out for you, or what you want maybe to see in sparring, or maybe you have some other requests about different training drills and partner drills. But this, I think, is a good start to train the basic, most important techniques. And don't forget the 3 Fs, the 3 most important Fs of combat, swordsmanship especially, or weapon combat especially, which is footwork, footwork, footwork. Back in the day when I was doing kendo and I was a newbie, I hated to do tons of footwork, like for hours, not really fighting, not even holding the sword, just doing footwork for an hour in the hall. But that's the key, that's the base. Without good footwork, there's nothing. And footwork doesn't have to be artificial or fancy all the time. It's also to be, trusting your footwork even on uneven terrain, even when you have a weapon you are not used to, even when you're in a situation which is more like self-defense and not a duel. Even then footwork is important, because how you stand makes a difference, and how you move and how you walk makes a difference. So don't underestimate with the Tomahawk footwork, because otherwise what will happen if you don't train properly? You will just swing the thing, bend over, raise your rear leg, and all these bad habits. So try to train, as we did in the Dirk lessons. I explained the footwork a little bit more detail. So if you didn't check this out, you can adapt a lot of the basic principles from the Highland Dirk lessons I made. You can also adapt on any shorter weapon and also on the Tomahawk. So this kind of moving footwork, being, I hope you can see my feet, moving backwards and traversing and doing all this kind of footwork and being safe on your feet and moving around, this is really, really important. So don't underestimate the power of footwork. Okay, so thanks for watching. Thanks a lot to all my Patreons. You guys are really awesome. Really appreciate your support. If you don't saw my Patreon page yet, there's a link in the video description where you can check it out. And yeah, I see you all hopefully in the next video.